But why would God choose to bless us so much like this? I look at the second part of verse 11. Because we were predestined according to the plan of the one who works out everything in agreement with the purpose of his will. We talked a few weeks back about what it means to be predestined. It's more than the idea of who's in and who's out. That's what a lot of Christians think it is. Being predestined is more than that. It's being predestined by God. It's all about being known by God. Known by God. It's about how God, in his love and wisdom, decided in eternity past to bless us and to give us eternal life and even purpose in Christ. You see, as Paul writes, God had a plan to work out everything in agreement with the purpose of his will. That means that even when we have no idea how something lines up with God's will in our life, we can trust that God knows, because he's working everything together for the good of those who love him, being called according to his purpose, the purpose of his will. Now, when it says that God works out everything, I think that's literally everything. Now, there's definitely a lot of beliefs here in terms of how much people think God is involved in the day-to-day. Those who profess to be atheists would, of course, say that God isn't involved at all because they wouldn't acknowledge God's existence. But even deists would say that although that they believe in God, they don't believe that God is active in the world today. And on the opposite end of the spectrum from all of that, you might find someone who we might call a fatalist, in that they believe that God has ordained every moment such that everything is fate and we can do nothing about it. We can change nothing from all of history or future because it's all according to the will of God or fate. So why even try? That's a fatalist. The Bible says that we can make real moral choices because of our choices. And because of these choices, we will experience real blessings or real consequences. But even then, God's will ultimately be accomplished. So God isn't to blame for the evil that we see in the world. We are, because we've all sinned. And yet, knowing that we would sin, God was able to send Jesus to be our Savior and save all sinners who would confess Jesus as Savior and Lord. We talked briefly just last week about the mystery of God's will, how in Christ God is bringing together all things, Jew and Gentile, everything and everyone in heaven and on earth, and uniting them in Christ. God is doing this because God deserves all praise and all glory in Christ. And because of that, everything will glorify him in the end. That's what Paul writes at the end of verse 12. He wrote, so that we who had already put our hope in Christ might bring praise to his glory. This is, really read that a few times. This is such an amazing thing that we skim over so often when we read the Bible. Usually when we read the Bible, we're concerned about what's in it for us, aren't we? What do I need to do? How can I be blessed by God? What's in it for me, right? We're thinking primarily about our rewards, maybe our inheritance, our blessings. We want to try to avoid those consequences that might be ours, right? But the Bible and all of history actually has a much higher goal than anything that we would concern for, like ourness about things. Paul tells us that the point of God saving us is to be to the praise of his glory